What's going on, guys? It's me, Julana Fan HC here, and today we have the GeminiJets May 2025 releases for you guys. I'm excited to see what GeminiJets has to offer for the May 2025 releases. They had two joint months for the past months. February, excluding February, but this year alone we have two joint months. So we got December and January, and then we got March and April. But we just got the GeminiJets releases for May 2025 today, as of this recording. So, it should be coming out by today, but I'm just super excited to see what they have to offer. So, they did release some images of their March/April releases, and honestly, they did turn out to look very, very cool. And you can see the future releases right there. So, let's go for our May releases as per usual. So, here is our March releases. Everything is buy it now. Most of the models here are really nice. Like, for example, we got the beautiful Delta Airlines Airbus A321neo in the 100 years livery. I think Gemini just did a phenomenal job on this particular aircraft and this special livery, alongside the Airbus A350. Also looking very nice as well. The Hawaiian 717 also ended up looking very nice as well. Love the colors on this particular model right there. And then we also got the Frontier MD-81, which was a really cool release, or a retro release for all the US collectors, and honestly, it does look nice. And GeminiJets ended up doing the MD-80 with the point and empennage, like the early versions of the MD-80. So the one with the point and empennage. So that's really cool. And of course, our United 763 in the Star Alliance livery. That's a really, really cool model right there. I'm super excited to pick that one up. And as for all of our 1-200 offerings, yeah, everything is all buy it now. And yeah, nothing too much on that. So everything's all buy now, and yeah. So let's scroll down as we got our May releases right here. So I'm eager to see what GeminiJets. I'm not sure how they did not announce a countdown on these May releases, so I don't know what GeminiJets released at 12 o'clock Pacific time. The releases were announced, and thankfully I did not see anything. I kind of saw a little speck of it, but I did not see the airline name, the aircraft type, and what livery it's in. So it's still fresh in my. It's still fresh. The GeminiJets releases are still fresh. So I don't know what GeminiJets released, but hopefully they release something cool. Maybe some retros are included, but here we go. So let's get started with the GeminiJets May 2025 releases as we start off with our 1-400 offerings. So as I scroll down, we first have. Here we go. And we first have, ooh, yes, Allegiant Air, Allegiant A320, and I think this one has sharklets on it. Okay, I see what you're doing there, GeminiJets. Decided to release an Allegiant A320. I do want a Allegiant A320 in my collection. I just want an Allegiant Air model in general. I was trying to think of that Max A200, but I don't know if that's really on my plans. But we do have this offering from GeminiJets on this Allegiant A320 with sharklets with CFM engines. Of course, we know what the engines look like on their CFM molds, which I can't really complain too much. I mean, that's how GeminiJets do it. That's how they do it. But I heard there's some improvements on the mold. I'm not sure if that's true, but I'm not really quite sure. But yeah, at least we got an Allegiant A320, so that's one model I'll be getting. That aircraft is registered November 252 November Victor. I mean, I've seen the Allegiant A320 with sharklets while I was doing some Sacramento spotting. That aircraft came in as a charter, but I don't know if I saw this exact registration, but maybe I might, who knows. But if I did see this registration, then I'll pull up the picture on your screen right now. But yet again, I'm not sure, because I've seen some Allegiant A320s, one of them being with sharklets and the other being with fence tip. But I'm assuming, I mean, I did see one, but yet again, it's not really pulling up into my mind if I saw this particular reg or not, but who knows. But still, and at least we got it, Allegiant A320. The price is $62.95, which I'm not sure, because with all the tariffs that's been going on, it's kind of debatable on how much that model costs, or if that price has increased significantly, or yeah, they just remain the same. But with all the tariffs that's been happening, all the imports from China, it's kind of it's a one-on-one on whether these models will be yeah, kind of the whole situation that's currently going on right now. But we got our Allegiant A320 right there. And yeah, I'm kind of like outside right now, so you can hear some outdoor ambiences. But we're still gonna do these releases because Gemini just once again just announced these. Next up, we should have an El Al Boeing 737-800. Now, this is a really exotic airline that GeminiJets has never released in a long time. And this features, it's in their older livery. So this is on the 737-800. Really interesting, I gotta say. So, yeah, GeminiJets, while they don't really release all the airlines in the world, they, at least, I think that has to do with like all the contracts they have. So, GeminiJets, while they did release some LL models in the past, this is the first time in a long time. So, really nice to see right there for all the collectors who get these planes. If ever they want to make like a Jerusalem, I'm not sure, well, Tel Aviv, yeah, Tel Aviv airport, then you can have this model in particular. But yeah, a really nice offering from GeminiJets, and a really cool exotic one, I gotta say. I do love like the livery of El Al. Their current livery also looks very nice as well too. So that aircraft is registered for X-Ray Echo Kilo, and the price is the same price as for the Legion A320. So really nice offering right there. Alright, moving on. Next up, we have JetBlue Airbus A321neo. Now we're talking right here. We're getting some really good American varieties right here. This one features ribbons tail. So this is just a regular A321neo. So yeah, I know NJ has did one back in 2023. So really cool that GeminiJets is doing their offering on this one with the ribbons tail. And what's the name of this plane? The name of this plane, meant for big things. I think that's the name of the plane. So really cool that GeminiJets has made a A321neo with the ribbons tail. Not sure if some model manufacturer has ever tried making a A321ceo with the ribbons tail. I would love to see NG, maybe Panda, or maybe GeminiJets make that model. So who knows when that model's coming, but I would love to see that made in 1/400 scale. The JetBlue Airbus A321ceo with the ribbons tail. But at least we got this neo from GeminiJets right there. That aircraft is registered November 2180 Juliet, and the price is the same price as for these other two, the previous two. Alright, so next up, we got a lot of narrow bodies. Let's see if we got a wide body in this release. Actually, we do not. And we got a really cool retro model right here. So we have a Midwest Boeing 717-200. So we're going all the way retros right there. And my gosh, that livery looks really cool. And yeah, it's not all your white. It has a top blue, and then you got a bottom, which I think that's like a lightish, like pearlish gray bottom, I guess. But honestly, this looks really cool. Midwest was it's a airline back in the past, which basically no longer exists, but they did have some really good operations. I think they may have operated, given the airline's name, I believe they operated many routes from the Midwestern United States. So yeah, cool model for the retro collectors right there, and yeah, a really nice model right here from GeminiJets, and really cool that GeminiJets is continuing their trend on releasing retro models. So that aircraft is registered November 920 Mike Echo. And the price for that model is $59.95, which that is so close to $60 right there. Literally. And yeah, so, but many GeminiJets prices increase, so we don't have to complain too much about that. It's kind of like their trend. So next up, we have a Saudi 787-9 Dreamliner. Okay, I see where we're going. And it's in this, I don't know, I'm not sure, just like their new livery or something, but it's kind of like a different kind of special livery. I'm not really quite sure if this is classified as a special livery, but it does have it's Euro white, but like the previous livery, like the livery they currently have, with, like on how it's like a revised retro livery or something. I do like that standard livery, but I'm not sure if this is classified as a standard livery or a special livery. But it's really cool that GeminiJets has made another Saudi model after like years. Like it's been like decades, I guess, or how many years, I don't even know. but it's really nice that GeminiJets has made this model right here on the 787-9 Dreamliner. That aircraft is registered Hotel Zulu Alpha Romeo Bravo. As a matter of fact, I do want to look at that registration, so I'm gonna type this up on Flight Radar 24 Alpha Romeo Bravo just to classify that this is a special. Yes, this is a special livery. So this is the 2024 National Day livery. So yeah, really cool right here. So this is just their National Day livery for 2024. So really cool livery right there. I know it's Euro white, but I mean, it's just a special livery at least. At least this is not the standard liveries, which is good. And that price for that 787 is $73.95. Alright, as we scroll down, next up, and of course we got our flaps down offering, as of course, like as with all 787s right there. That one is a $4 price increase right there. So same livery, but the difference is it is flaps down. Alright, next up, we have a TUI 737 MAX 8. I don't think GeminiJets has never released this in a while too, so here we go. We got our European offerings right there. With this TUI 737 MAX 8, this is the UK variant. I think the main TUI is based out of like Germany. And then they also have some other like subsidiary TUI brands. Like there's TUI UK. I think TUI UK is the one I know. I'm not sure if there's any other like TUI Latvia or something, but TUI UK is the only like subsidiary TUI brand I know. But the livery looks very nice, including on this aircraft as well. I do like this offering from GeminiJets, that GeminiJets is at least doing some stuff from the European side of things, and overall it does look very nice. And I think GeminiJets should do a good job on this particular aircraft right there in 1/400 scale. So that aircraft is registered Golf Tango Uniform Mike Yankee, and the price is your average price right there, your new price for your narrow body offerings in 1/400 scale. Alright, so now we move on. Next up, and then we got United Airlines doing their Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. This is the iteration of their 787-8 Dreamliner in their Evo Blue livery. I know NG just did one recently on their April releases, so I'm gonna see on how GeminiJets is gonna do on this. I know they're gonna do a really nice job on this, just like NG, but I believe NG's is gonna be, it's almost like neck and neck with Gemini, but I know Gemini is gonna be using the JC Wings mold, so I hope there's a flaps down. I do want a flaps down model for like a long time. I never had a flaps down model at all, but honestly I would love to go for these other offerings from GeminiJets right there. So yeah, and as for this particular registration, November 2, sorry about that guys, there was a dog barking, but as for this particular registration, November 26902, this was the first aircraft in United Airlines' fleet for their 787-8s to be painted in the Evo Blue livery, and I did see this aircraft back at San Francisco International Airport back in January 2024 while she was still in the Continental Globe livery. And in addition to that, there's a really big difference on this one, as this dorsal fin right there, this like tip, like the beginning part of the dorsal fin is blue, while majority of their 787s with this tail has like a gray piece in it. NG did something like that on their April releases, where they released one with this iteration, but then they released another 787-8 Dreamliner in the Evo Blue livery where it is like just gray. So really interesting right there on how NG models did that, but GeminiJets is gonna do their iterations on this beautiful Dreamliner right there. So really cool. Price is $73.95, and do we get our flaps down? We do. Oh, actually, no, we do not get a flaps down on this. Huh, that's odd. So we now have a 787-9 Dreamliner, and this one's in the future is SAF livery. So this is really cool right there. So we're getting, I immediately thought there was going to be a flaps down counterpart of this, but I guess not. So, but I think they're going to be using, I don't even know what they're going to use. But I know the 788 mold should come in a 2-piece mold if I were to take a guess. But we do got our Evo Blue 789 right there, and well, not really Evo Blue. It's just the feature is SAF livery on the 787-9 right there. Really cool aircraft, and I would actually love to get this for my collection, depending if they release this in the JC Wings mold or not. Anyways, that aircraft is registered November 249988, and I did see this particular aircraft at San Francisco International Airport. It was really cool. Like, that was back in December 2024. It was my first encounter with this special, and she was in like the, I guess it's like the maintenance bay if I were to take a guess. Well, not really maintenance bay, but somewhere over there, not like in the main hangar of the United Airlines, at SFO, but I saw her while I was at the Westfield parking garage at SFO. So it was really cool to see this aircraft in person, and overall, it does look very nice. And they also have this special livery on their Max 8. Not Max 8, their Max 10 too. So yeah, I'm going to see if GeminiJets is going to be doing a flaps down mold of this particular model. And do we have it? And we do! Okay, so nice work right there from GeminiJets. They're releasing a flaps down counterpart for this particular aircraft. Well, excuse the printing error because there's no horizontal stabilizer. There's also no horizontal stabilizer on this CGI image as well, so I don't know what on earth is going on right there. But I will be getting this model because of that, and overall, I think this model should look very nice. And I would love to get the flaps down counterpart, but I would rather just wait for a Evo Blue standard livery before I can do that. That same goes for the 787-Shade, which I don't think they'll be releasing that, so... I mean, I think GeminiJets has a flaps, like a JC has a flaps down mold of their 788, so I'm not sure. So I don't know why they haven't used, I'm not sure they used that before, maybe with the British 788 or something. But still, I'll still get this model because I do want this for my collection. And yeah, it's a really nice special livery from United Airlines right there. So, that model is also in my list. And that's it for the 1-for-100 offerings. Overall, it's almost like, it feels like the narrow bodies may have taken over the 1-for-100 section. We just only got 2 wide bodies, and that's it. Well, actually, not 2, 3 wide bodies. But all of them are 787. So we got a 789 from Saudia, we got a 788 from United Airlines, and a 789 in the future, this SAF delivery from United. Majority of the releases are like narrow bodies, like the Allegiant A320, LL738. JetBlue, and Midway, which is a really cool retro, but then you also got TUI as well. Haven't seen much on Asia varieties in this 1-for-100 release batch, while you can include some Middle Eastern stuff like LL and then Saudi. Those are part of the Middle East. But still, I do like this offering right here from GeminiJets. A little bit more diversity at least, but still, I think this is an okay release set from them. Anyways, next up, we should move on. Okay, so we got our Gemini Max releases. Let's see what that is. It is a Boeing C-17 Globemaster from March Air Force Base. And yeah, there it is. March Air Force Base. I don't know where... Wait, March Air Force? Yeah, I don't know where March Air Force Base is. But I'm assuming it's... Yeah, I'm not really gonna guess on where this Air Force Base is based out of. But yeah, for anyone who wants a C-17, there you go. And for those who are living close to March Air Force Base, then there you go as well. That aircraft is registered 055144, and the price is $64.95. I also do want to mention the price for the 787. So the price of the 788 is $73.95. Same goes for the 73. Yeah, they're the same price as the Saudi. And yeah, that's it for the Gemini Max offering. So nothing too interesting for me, although I actually do have a Gemini Max model. Future unboxing will be coming soon on that, so stay tuned for that unboxing coming soon, probably around next month. Anyways, let's move on to our 1-200 offerings, and let's see what GeminiJets have for their 1-200 models. We first start off with, of course, we got our Air Mexico Boeing 737-800. I think they released a 1-for-1 counterparts 2 months ago. And this time, well, this is in their current livery, and this is coming in 1-to-100 scale. So really nice to see right there from GeminiJets. That aircraft is registered November 9057 Alpha Bike. And overall, I think this 1-to-100 offering is going to be amazing for the North American collectors right here. Next up, we should have, and we got our flaps down counterpart right there, so nothing too special. That is a, that's $4, I think. 1, 2, 3, yeah, $5 actually, not $4. That's $5. So that's a $5 price increase right there for the 1-for-100 counterpart with the flaps, for the flaps down counterpart in 1-to-100 scale. Yeah, should be a nice model. Once again, should be a nice model for all the North American collectors right there. Next up, we should have Argentinian Air Force. That is really interesting right there. This is 737-700. That's a really interesting release set, right? Like a release right there. Never knew GeminiJets would do this, so that's really again, really interesting. So this is the Argentinian Air Force Boeing 737-700 military jet. And yeah, like it's kind of like a usual military jet for a 737. I think that says, if I could try to pronounce this in Spanish, it reads Fuerza Aérea Argentina. I'm not sure if I said it correctly, but I'd assume I did. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, a really cool offering right there from GeminiJets, and that's a really cool model for the South American collectors right there. And yeah, that aircraft registration, which is different, it's Tango-9 or 9er, and the price is $121.95. So yeah, a really interesting offering right there from GeminiJets. And yeah, same price goes for the Air Mexico 78, and just the flap stand is $5 price increase. So really cool right there from Gemini to release that. Alright, next up, British Airways Airbus A380. Okay, that's gonna be a huge model for all the collectors right there. So we got our British A380 offering right there in 1/200 scale, and I'm assuming they're gonna do a 1/400 scale next month or something. But that's really cool. So we got our British whale right there, the king of the skies, looking absolutely very gorgeous right there in the CGI image. The aircraft is registered Golf Lima X-ray, Golf X-ray, jeez, Golf X-ray Lima Echo. There we go. So that's the registration of this British A380. I did get to see this aircraft at SFO, and I got a really nice shot of her while she was taxiing to the international terminal. So that was back in June this year, but not June, January of this year, by the way. So really cool offering right there for GeminiJets in the 1/200 counterpart. And the price for this A380 is $200.28. So you need to have enough money to afford this model. But still, it's a really cool model right there. Next up, we do have another AT4600 though, but I'm trying to pronounce this airline. That is, oh my god, it looks like an airline from Ecuador. Here we go. I think if I can try to pronounce this correctly, this is Conviesa.aero something, but this is their AT4600 right here. I think that's Conviesa, if I'm pronouncing this airline correctly. I think that it's a Spanish-speaking country, so maybe I'm saying it correctly. But really nice that we got another 1/200 AT4600 offering. They did a Mahamir AT4600, like I think last month or 2 months ago. So now we're getting this Conviesa AT4600. I've always wondered if GeminiJets is going to be doing a Lufthansa AT4600 in the future. That might happen considering the fact that they released this and the Manhattan 346 2 months ago. Or maybe like a few months, 3 months, I don't really know. But still, this is a really cool offering right there for all the AT40 fans, and overall, I think this is going to be a really cool model in 1/200 scale. That aircraft is registered Yankee Victor 3545, and the price is $190.95. So really cool offering right there. And let's see what our next model is. And that is an Emirates A350-900 coming in the 1/200 lands, like the 1/200 land. So I think last month we got our Echo X-Ray Alpha. Now we're getting Echo X-Ray Bravo in this release set. So really nice offering, and yeah, nothing to explain too much right there. But I think Emirates and the partnership with Gemini, it's still going strong, and I think that model is gonna look absolutely nice. So that aircraft once again is Alpha 6 Echo X-Ray Bravo, and the price is $196.95. Alright, so now we move on. And we have our Hawaiian Airlines Airbus A321neo coming in 1/200 scale. Love this offering right there for the Hawaiian Airlines fans right there, and including myself since I work for this particular airline. So there she is, the 1/200 Hawaiian A321neo. It's been a long time. I do have one in my collection already, and yeah, I guess this could be their fourth release 1/200 Hawaiian A321neo now. So really nice offering right there from GeminiJets, and I loved it. I love to see it right there. Price is $121.95. That aircraft registration is November 208 Hotel Alpha, which is the exact registration that's currently wearing the Moana 2 livery. I worked on this aircraft a couple of times, and I got a couple of good pictures of her. And overall, it was really nice working on this plane. I'm not. I know JC Wings is gonna be doing the Moana 2 AC21 Neo on this registration in 1/400 scale, but yet again, JC Wings, they tend to take really long to release these, but hopefully we can get a 1/200 counterpart of this particular reg with the Moana 2 livery. Anyway, so that's okay. Sorry, that was something came on my Apple Watch. But let's see what our next aircraft is. And then we got our Kalita Boeing 777-300ER SF special freighter right there, the big twin. Look at absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I think a few months ago, 2 months or 3 months, they did release this. I think it was either in the February or the March-April releases that they released this model in 1/400 scale. So now we're getting a 1/200 counterpart on this particular plane. So really cool to see right there, and really nice that Kalita Air is the first operator of this particular aircraft, I think. So that aircraft is registered November 779er Charlie Kilo, and the price for that particular plane is $182.95. Alright, so that's our Kalita 777 freighter for 300, like the extended rate, like the 300ER counterpart of this freighter. And we got a Southwest 737-700 right there coming in 1/200 scale. This should be a really good model if anyone missed out on the NGs. I think I might try to go for this model, so I don't really want to miss out. I know I have not flown on a Southwest 737-700 as of late, but considering that my airport, which is Sacramento, has so many Southwest planes, I thought I want to get one. I thought the feeling of, I think I do want to get a 737-700 in 1/200 scale. But I think GeminiJets' version is going to be good, but not as perfect as what NG has. But NG did got the colors right on their 1/200 and 737-700 heart liveries. But whether or not, I think this model would still look nice, and overall, I think GeminiJets is gonna do a good job on this particular plane. So that aircraft is registered November 943 Whiskey November, which is the California 1 aircraft. So this particular plane was painted in the California 1 livery before she was repainted into the heart livery around 2023. So that price is the same price as for that Hawaiian AC21Neo. And then of course we got our flaps down counterpart as well. Nothing too much, but that is a $5 price increase right there. So no need to go into further information about that. Next up, and then we got a Spirit. Oh, I think this is in their Skittles livery. Airbus A320. I think that's in their Skittles livery. It is in their Skittles livery. I like to call it Skittles livery. Some people like to call this the Rainbow livery, but I just like to call it Skittles, considering, I think those can be, the colors of the Skittles. But still, this is a really cool offering. I think GeminiJets might try to release this in 1/400 scale next month or so, but who knows. But only time will tell. But I'm really glad that they made this model. So we'll see if that's going to be released in 1/200 scale in the future. But still, really nice offering right there. That aircraft is registered November 663 November Kilo. Not sure if I see this particular reg, but maybe I do. Who knows? But yeah, I would highly suggest catching these Skittles liveries, because similar to the Candy Blue livery for Southwest, those are going to be gone soon. And the same price as what your various narrow bodies right there. And yeah, but overall these are really cool 1/200 offerings right there. Next up, and that's it for the releases. So overall, not a bad set right there. I think Gemini is kind of missing on that east, that Asia region right there, the China, Japan, Korea region, and some other parts of Asia. But I do like this offering right there. A lot of North American stuff. The 1/400 section has pretty much taken, the narrow bodies have pretty much taken over the 1/400 sections. But then you got a really cool set of 1/200s right there, like the Conviesa 184600, the British 1880, the Argentinian Air Force 737-700, the 777-300ER Special Freighter from Kalita, and you got some really cool offerings like a Southwest 737, and a Spirit AC-20 Skittles, and a Hawaiian AC-21Neo. So overall, the models I'll be getting for this release set, well, maybe 1/400, I might get something in the 1/200 counterparts, but overall, really nice release set. If I were to give this a percentage, I would say, I think just about somewhere 90 to an 89%. I think if GeminiJets were to include some models from that particular regions in Asia, then that score would have been a lot more higher. But still, I think this is still a good release set, and I think GeminiJets continues to do a good job on releasing these. Actually, considering that Midwest, I think, yeah, I'll just keep it at 89 and 90. I think there needs to be more variety on Asian stuff, including some 1-400 offerings and 1-200s. But the models I'll be getting for this release set for this month will be the Allegiant Air A320 with sharklets, the United 787-9 in the Futurist SAF livery, and yeah, that's basically it for the 1-400 counterparts. But as for the 1-200 counterparts right there, I think I might go for the Southwest 737-700 since I missed out on the NG versions. But these models will be released before Airlines International 2025, so highly likely I'll be getting those during Airliners International. But we'll see if GeminiJets, I think GeminiJets will announce their June releases around June, but I'm not sure if those will be coming during the convention in Atlanta, but who knows. But highly likely that these May releases will be released in GeminiJets in the Airliners International 2025 convention in ATL. So I would highly recommend going to that convention, by the way. So looking forward to getting those models when I'm at the convention, and overall GeminiJets still continues to pump up their releases right here. So that's it for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Gosh, make sure to like, comment, and I nearly just about to mess up on my outro. But yeah, but overall, I mean, still trying to, yeah, that's what happens when I've been talking so much. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a new upload from me anytime soon. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Good night.